Welcome back to the Catnip Podcast. My name is Grace, and today is Tuesday, September 11th, 2018. This is a podcast about knitting and crafting, and sometimes I forget to turn off my phone, and you can hear the notifications, and I will do that right now. But this is a podcast where I show all the crafty things that I do during the week. I also work at a yarn store. It's called The Modern Skein. It's in Montgomery, Texas, so if you would like to go and check that out, if you are in the area, we would love to see you and stop by and check out all the wonderful yarn. There are also online sales, so if you see something that you would like to buy, but you live too far away and cannot come to the store itself, you can buy it online and you can enjoy it that way. So all of the store information will be in the show notes. In addition to that, all of the regular information such as show notes and social media links, if you'd like to go follow me on any of my social medias, there is Instagram, Twitter, Ravelry, and Facebook. I am most active on Instagram. Like always, I say that every single time. Also, the show notes with the links to the things that I will talk about in this episode will be down below if you are on my blog, or if you are on YouTube, the link to my blog will be down below in the down bar, in addition to everything else that you might want or need in regards to information about me. I have a fair amount of knitting to show you this week, so that is very exciting. I want to get right into that. But before we get started, I also want to just take a moment and remember that today is September 11th, and the horrible travesty that happened 17 years ago, and all that. So that's sad, and I'm going to spend today thinking about that. But to lift that up and be a little bit more positive, if you would like to go grab something tasty to drink, whether it be tea or coffee or water or Coke or anything that has caffeine, for me at this point, I don't know what it is, but I'm just very sleepy today. Or something to snack upon, and maybe something to craft upon as well, while I share with you what I have been working on this week. So go do that and come back and join me for some crafty chat. I have tea today. It is the Earl Grey creme, whatever. It's so good, so good. It's just also very soothing. I don't know what it is. I think it must be like the vanilla and the lavender in it as well. It's just very calming and just kind of just take it a little bit and just chill. I do apologize if I do not seem as peppy as I normally do. I don't know why. I'm just a little sleepy today and a little out of it. We have been enjoying some wonderful, wonderful, you might be able to guess what I'm about to say, but weather. Surprise, surprise. I'm going to talk about the weather really quick. So we have been having rain for like the past week and a half, and I absolutely adore it. It is incredible, and like that means cooler temperatures. So it's currently like in the high 70s, which is like amazing. The humidity is really high, but that's okay. We can get over that, and we can just be happy that it's not 105. So I've been really enjoying that. Sometimes I feel like I was just texting Sam about this yesterday while I was doing my very long to-do list, as it always is on Monday. I texted him at one point and I was like, I feel like I am just so much more productive when it's cloudy outside. Like when it's sunny, I know that a lot of people are like, yay, it's sunny, and like I feel so energized and alive, and if that's you, that is wonderful. I'm so happy for you that that is the case. But for me, I don't know what it is. I just feel more alive and more like productive and energetic, except for today, when it's cloudy and rainy. I don't know why. I have no idea why. But something about today, I am just really super out of it. But that's okay, you know, we're gonna get through it. We have our delicious tea. So that is just a fact of life, fun fact about me, being completely transparent. Life of a podcaster, you never live a perfect life. Things are not all shiny and perfect all the time. And I just want to share that with everyone. So, I'm going to take another sip of tea. Last week was a really fun episode, and I do appreciate everyone's like wonderful responses, comments, messages, likes, all that jazz. That means so much, and it also meant a lot to Sam as well. It was just so much fun to film, and I think that he did a really good job. One thing I do want to say is that a lot of you, I'm going to put my tea down because I feel like I need to talk with my hands for this, but gotta find space on my desk. It's quite messy. Things you can't see. Again, not living a perfect life. A lot of you did mention, and you pointed out, and you sent messages and stuff, and talking about how supportive and like encouraging Sam is about what I do, my clear obsession, and even my job when it comes to that, because I do in fact work at a yarn store. And I really appreciate that. I think that it's really nice to for me to acknowledge and openly talk about how supportive Sam is about what I do, and then also that it can be seen by other people, and I think that's really wonderful, and I'm so glad that you guys were able to see that, and so you can see that he's a wonderful person and I love him a lot. But yes, he's just very supportive, and we joke about me having too much yarn, but he also is, he knows that yarn is like my happy place, and he knows that if I want or need new yarn, I'm not gonna like just go buy it willy-nilly, even though sometimes it may seem like that way. I do think about it quite a bit before I do that, and so he knows that like if I want to do it, it's because I thought about it. And so that's really wonderful that he just trusts my yarn knowledge in regards to stuff like that. And whoops, sorry, just twisting and turning on my chair and I ran into my desk. And just like allowing me to not get like a desk job or something like that. And there's nothing wrong with that, but that just would not have suited me necessarily. I think it was really wonderful that he was okay with me waiting to find a job, and then also be supportive, so supportive when the yarn store did come up, and was like, you should do it. This is the job that God brought along for you, and I think this is like, this is going to be really amazing. And so he's so happy for me to go to work. He listens to me talk about work all the time. It's just, I don't know. He's just very supportive of what I do, and I really appreciate that. And in return, I'm supportive of what he's interested in, like the coffee, and he plays video games, and I let him play video games. And I'm supportive of that way. But I also listen to him talk about work and all that jazz. So I feel like we make a good team as a married couple, the married couple team. And yeah, so I just wanted to like vocalize that in a little bit more, not deep necessarily, but more on like a specific level, because like you could see that in the way that he answered the questions in the Fiber Friends tag last week, that he's very, like, he knows what he's talking about. He's very knowledgeable. He remembers things usually that I tell him when it comes to things like the yarn weights and knowing who Stephen West is and all that kind of stuff. But I also just wanted you guys to hear that from me and just know how much that means to me and how that is such a big part in our relationship. I don't know where I'm going with this, but I just wanted to get that out there, and so you guys know I appreciate your comments. Sam appreciates your comments, and they were just very sweet, and they were wonderful to see. So I'm glad you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully he will make an appearance before too long again. I don't know doing what. Maybe we'll have to come up with more questions. Maybe we'll have it the other way around, where he asks me questions. I don't know what of, but We'll come up with something and it'll be a lot of fun. But anyway, again, thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting, and yes, so thank you. So, I don't know where to start. I'm just kind of a little all over the place at the moment. I have some things that I want to share with you. I also have a finished object, kind of. All the ends are not woven in, so they are very much all over the place. Kind of looks a little messy, but for all the knitting is done, and that's all that really matters in my mind. So I have that to show you. I have, let's see how many old projects there are, old projects that I have brought out, because something has been finished and you might be able to guess what that is. Wink wink. Or eyebrow raise, or whatever face you want to make, or whatever. But so I have been just like very inspired to bring out old knits and get them done, because some of them are so close to being done. They're so close, and I just want to finish them so I can get more things off the needle, so I can cast on more things, because I did get some yarn recently. And yes, so we're gonna go into that. And we're just gonna jump right in, so let's go. So, dun da da da, it's done, it's done. The ends are not woven in, but it's done. This is my test knit for Flossy Knits on Instagram and Ravelry. Her name is Claire, and this is her first sweater pattern, and I love it. It's so wonderful. I finally got it done. It was a lot of knitting, but I think it was very much worth it. It is just so snuggly and cozy. I just really love it. The pattern is not out yet. Like, literally the due date for me being done was yesterday on the 10th, so it's definitely not out yet, but I really love it. I think you'll get a lot of good wear out of it. It is a cabled pullover, so we have this cable pattern on the front and on the back, and then the sleeves are plain, and it's just your simple plain sleeve. It's knit in pieces. You have a collar, you have a wider neck, and because of the size that I knit is bigger than what I would normally pick, I was looking for a baggier sweater, so that's just what I was looking for in addition to test knitting. So on me, this ends up kind of being a drop sleeve. It's not technically supposed to be a drop sleeve, really. Maybe a little bit, but not as much as this shows up on me. But that's just because I knit a bigger size than I normally would, which I don't think that's a bad thing. I think I really like it this way. I think if I were to see this pattern on Ravelry, having it already being published, and I would be picking out a size, I probably would pick the same size that I knit, because I would want this to be a slouchier, baggier sweater, if that makes sense. So I really like it. I knit it out of Knit Picks Wool of the Andes Sport in the current colorway. And I know that this is the accurate color when we hold it up back this far. This is the current accurate color. This is, well, I guess that's still pretty accurate. Something about holding it back has just kind of like made the camera happy. Huh. Interesting. I don't know what's going on. Clearly I don't know what I'm doing. Which is true, because I don't really know how to work the camera other than take out the SD card, turn it off, and press record. Turn it off and on, I should say. I do know how to do that. So yes, this is done. There are so many ends to be woven in, and there's more on the inside that you can't see. So I'm going to be working on that this evening, tomorrow. But yes, the pattern has not been released yet. I'm not sure when exactly it will be released, but I will let you know. The other test knit that I did a couple of weeks ago for Caitlin Hunter and Yarn of / On the House is still not out. Again, I will let you know when that comes out so you guys can go over and get a copy of the pattern because it was super fun and I highly, highly recommend it. Yes, it is currently, my test knit is currently in the yarn store in the Modern Skein up on a mannequin, so if you want to go take a peek, if you are nearby, you can go and see it in person. So that's pretty fun. I'm looking forward to wearing this. I tried this on, I literally cast it off last night, and Sam and I were watching something or something like that, and I cast it off and I went into the other room to try it on, and like I came back into our living room and I was like, yay, I finished, I'm done, and then I didn't take it off because it was just very snuggly and I wanted to enjoy the fact that it was a little chilly in the apartment because of AC and I wanted to wear it. So even with all the ends still hanging out and everywhere, I still wore it and it was wonderful. So I'm a fan. This is the Corbel. It's called Corbel or Corbel. I think it's Corbel. C-O-R-B-E-L. Pullover, that's what it's going to be called. Again, I will let you know when it comes out. Would recommend if you're looking for a classic cabled pullover. Super fun, super fun. So, yay for getting a test knit done! Yay! So, in regards to old knits, I'm going to be pulling out the old knits here. What is that? What is going on here? I don't know. Hello. Having some issues. I don't know what is going on. Why is it being that way? That is very odd. Sorry, there's like an odd, like, snag of the colorwork back here, and I'm not sure where that's come from or why that's happened, but, that's very, very strange. Anyway, well, now is not the time to look at that because we're recording a podcast. So, this is my Branches and Buds pullover by Carrie Bostic Hodge. Or Hodge, I'm not sure which, but I've knit quite a lot on the body. I cast this on probably last year in August, I think, if I remember correctly looking at my Ravelry page. I did mention what day I started it on, but I did not mention what size I was making. So we did have a little bit of panic yesterday or a couple days ago when I was trying to figure out what size I was making because I didn't mark it literally anywhere. Which is like, how long have you been knitting, Grace? Like, this is something that you should know that you need to do. So when you take breaks upon breaks on projects that need sizes that you don't know what you're doing, then you can go back and see what you're doing. That wasn't a very well-formed sentence, but hopefully you get what I'm trying to say. So I did eventually figure out what size I'm making, and that was really great. I did panic quite a bit. Not quite a bit. I did panic a little bit because I was like, I can't figure out what size I'm making and I don't know what to count to help me figure it out. Thankfully, I was able to figure it out. And now I'm just on knitting on my merry way. I am going to be increasing or lengthening the body, and I will also be lengthening the sleeves according to measuring myself from my armpit down to wherever I want it to end, just because that is my personal preference and I would like a little bit longer of a sweater. I also want longer sleeves because I like pulling it down past my palm so I can hold on to the sleeves like that. But I believe I should have enough yarn. I'm not concerned about that. So, my mom also knit the same one. It looks so nice. She finished hers very shortly after we cast it on. I think she wore it for that Christmas, December 2017. So, yes, she's much better at finishing these knit-alongs, much better than I am. I have no excuse. There was just other things grabbed my attention. I was like, I'm going to take a break with the branches and buds and I'm going to move on to other things. Meanwhile, my mom finished hers and was able to wear it on a ski trip that my family took. And it is so cute and adorable, and I just hope that mine looks as cute and as adorable as hers. So, hopefully we will be able to maybe take a picture. I know I say this a lot, that my mom and I are going to take pictures of us in our things together. That has not happened yet, but I do hope at some point that that will happen once I finish things that need to be finished, because she's finished most of these things that we're supposed to have finished together. I'm the one who's falling behind here. My mom is doing a very good job of getting things off the needles. So, making progress, making progress. It is very nice because I'm just knitting on the body, which is round and round and round and round and round of stockinette, which I absolutely love and adore. It is my absolute favorite because it means I can knit, it means I can do other things, it means that it's very easy to pick up and put down if I'm working at the store and someone comes in and needs help. It's good movie theater knitting. So I have been working on this. I worked on this just a lot the past couple days. I don't know why I pulled it out, but it just was calling my name and I was like, I haven't finished you when you need to be finished. So let's make some progress. I also needed some just really mindless knitting, and so this turned out being very wonderful. It's also just so soothing. It's just so comforting and like calming to knit around and around and around and not really worry about like what you're supposed to be doing. It's very soothing. I really like it, and I'm looking forward to knitting the sleeves because I know they'll be the exact same way and it'll be wonderful, and then it'll be done, and then I'll have a finished sweater. I think this is the front. I'd assume so because the neckline is a little bit higher in the back. So I'm really loving this. I forgot to mention what yarn I'm using. I'm using Drops Flora in this gray colorway, and then the corally color was like literally coral or something like that. So this is a great yarn. I have knit several things out of this yarn and I really love it. My JC cardigan by Isabel Kramer is also knit out of this, and it is so loved and amazing and I love it so much. So I want to make all the things out of this yarn. I want to make all the things out of Drops yarn in general because it is very wonderful and good price point, good quality, good colors, good everything pretty much. So yes, would knit more sweaters out of this. Can't wait to get this done. So excited. So the next thing that I'm going to show you, it's been a long time since I've knit on this. I don't remember the last time it was that I knit on this. Why is there? Okay, here we go. So this is my Sucker Punch cowl, which I don't remember who designed this because it's been so long. Is it her name Alex? Might be Alex. It'll be in the show notes. I do apologize. But, so this is my Sucker Punch cowl. It is I'm just knitting a tube currently. I have I have a provisional cast on down here, so that means that once I unravel this pink edge here, right there, you can kind of see. Once I unravel that, there will be live stitches, and so I will connect them to this end. I still have some more to knit on here. I really love how this turned out. This is Noro. I do love a good Noro. Noro is not useful for everything, I will say that, but stuff like this, it's just like, ooh, I love it. I love it. So, I'm very happy with how this turned out. This seems like a good stash buster. if I remember correctly. My other yarn is just Cascade Eco Wool that I had left laying around. I have this much left of, which is clearly very organized and very wonderful, and hopefully will not get tangled. I say this as it's getting tangled. So I have this much left of the first little bit, and then I have some leftover from probably my A-Day cardigan, which is kind of crazy. So it happens to be the same color, I believe. Yes. I'm just saying that. I'm like, oh, I hope it is the same color. So it is, because I'm going to need this plain part to be as long as this part, I believe. So it can fold over, and that way you guys don't see all this little bit, which is not a problem to see all that little bit. But to prevent things from getting snagged, we want this part to be covered up. So I do love a good folded cowl. They are really wonderful. They are so soft and squishy. I think that it will be really great to have this in the store, also because color work is super popular this season for some reason in the knitting world, which is wonderful because I do love good color work, anything really. So I'm really excited about working on this, and again, this is just like literally straight knitting in a circle. So we are going to the movies this evening. We are going to enjoy that, and I am going to be working on some knitting. I don't know what mindless movie theater knitting I'm going to bring, but I have lots of options and I'm so excited about it, and so that will be wonderful. This might be it because I think I need to measure where I'm getting close to however long I wanted my body to be for the branches and buds, and I don't think I'll be able to like do that in the movie theater. Maybe I can. I probably can. I've done more complicated things in a movie theater. I don't know. We just have to decide. We have to decide, but at least we have options. We have more options that I'm not going to show you because I haven't worked on them this week. But I also just know that this will smell so wonderfully woolly when I put it in soak, and I just, oh, this kind of thing makes me so happy, everybody. Just woolly, woolly, woolly. I love it so much, and you're probably thinking, then why do you live in Texas, and like, why do you live in a hot climate? And it's like, I can't help that, unfortunately. I do love a good woolly item, but unfortunately the climate here does not allow me to wear woolly things every single day, even though I might wish to. Oh well. Oh well. I am very happy where we are, but it is, oh no, I'm losing stitches. It is sad that I cannot wear woolly every day, and the few woolly days that we do get are very few and far between, so that's okay. I knit woolly things anyway because they make me happy, so knit what makes you happy, everybody. Knit what makes you happy. So my third, that was not what I just showed you was my second project. This is my third project. I'm going to show you is not super old. When did this happen? I think back in June. I got this yarn from the Houston Fiber Fest, in addition to this very cute bag from Little Monkey's Stitch and Spin. And I believe she has an Etsy store, but look how cute this fabric is. How cute is that, everybody? It's llamas with hats and cactuses, and just super cute. Super cute. This is the Authenticity Shawl by Sylvia McFadden, who is Soft Sweater Knits on Instagram and on Ravelry. We're going to find a picture of the, oh, do I not have a picture of it? Oh, maybe I do. We have a picture without the instructions on it. We will make it work, because we don't want to share the instructions, everybody. That would be bad. But this is what it's going to look like. It is wonderfully squishy and lacy, and I love it so much. Again, this is a woolly item that I will just love and adore, and it's gonna smell so deliciously woolly. I'm using yarn from Bluebonnet Hills Alpaca Ranch called This and That. It's got thrums in it from Navasota, which is pretty cool because that's very local to me. It's not like next door, but it is very local. I think this colorway name is called Jewel, which I am just now noticing, so that's a fun fact. Fun fact, this is what the yarn looks like. Look at all these delicious little, like, thrummies. I know that's not the actual name. I know they're called thrums, but I like calling them thrummies, so don't judge me. Little thrummies. It's just so deliciously squishy and sheepy, except it smells so good. It's not sheepy, it's alpaca-y, since it came from an alpaca farm. It is 100% prime Texas alpaca with thrums added. It is so soft. I love it so much. So this is what I have so far. I do apologize for my squeaky chair. I know I'm very sorry. I do notice it when I edit and I cringe every time. So I'm sorry. I do try not to... Ooh, I lost a ball of yarn there. So this is what I have. I know this doesn't look like very much. I think it's going to be a very big shawl. This is my second skein that I have started. What is the best way to show this to you? I don't know. Can we see that? You can kind of see it a little bit better. Look at that color. Is that not pretty, everybody? That is just so gorgeous. It's lacy. It's a charted pattern. So that's cool. I'm just really loving how this is knitting up. I'm going to try and show this to you. There we go. It's a little bit better. So it's still not showing up super well. I do apologize. I know this. I'm trying, everybody. I'm really trying. So yeah, just a lacy shawl made out of this very squishy alpaca beautiful yarn. That's pretty good. You can kind of see it there. I am currently on repeat 5, I think. I think I'm going to do one more before I start doing the big squishy garter stitch edging, which will then create this, or make this into a mindless knit, which I'm looking forward to. Because, again, I really want to snuggle up in this thing. I just want to... Oh, it smells so good. I love it so much. Oh my goodness. If you are not a knitter and you're just watching this podcast because you know me or something like that, this probably seems very strange, and I do apologize. Hopefully you will not judge me or think me odd, but it smells so good. It just smells so good. Oh, I love it so much, and we should probably stop talking about how much it smells because nobody can smell it except for me, so that's kind of silly. But I'm really loving knitting with this yarn. I have another skein from the Bluebonnet Hills Alpaca Ranch that I got a while ago that I've actually never knit with, and so I'm glad that we had the opportunity to snag skeins of this at the Houston Fiber Festival. My mom and I went there back in June whenever it happened. So that's kind of special. It has special memories like that. So I love this so much. It just seems like a very comforting, another comforting knit that's just like, this smells good. It's so soft. It's not scratchy. It's super pretty. I love the pattern. It's gonna be big and drapey, and I love that, and I just love everything about this. And I just want to finish it so I can wear it, and I just want to show it off and have people touch it, and then they can smell it and they can know how amazing it smells. So this is a lot of fun. I would highly recommend any of Soft Sweater's patterns, or Sylvia's patterns. They are wonderfly written. I really like, so I actually just noticed this last night while I was working on it. Her pattern writing style is very like, I'm trying to think of a word, and all I can think of is controversial, and that is not the right word. It's like conversing, but it's like in a very conversational, that's the word, conversational way. Words today. So she writes in just a very conversational way. It's almost like she's sitting with you and she's walking you through the steps as you go, as you're sitting with her. And so I think that's really cool. It just makes it a lot more fun to knit. That is not a very good descriptive word. It's just very like, I don't know. I feel like it's a conversation almost. Like she's just like, okay, well that's super cool. You're done with that now, so we can move on to the border, and that's super exciting. And it's just like, it gets me excited about moving on to the next step. And so I think that's really cool. If you have not knit any of her patterns, I highly, highly recommend them. This is actually my first one of hers, but I want to make all of them because I love all of them. So, hopefully I see more of those in my future because I have yarn to knit with, and yay. So that's really wonderful. I would definitely recommend her patterns. I've said that many times, and I see it is pouring outside, and I love that so much. It is pouring. Yay. So, very quickly, I have shown you everything that I've been knitting on this week, so that's cool. We are done with the knitting content, really. Except I do have yarn to show you. Also, very quickly, before we move on to this next thing that I'm going to talk about, I am going to be doing the Stephen West Mystery Knit Along. Of course, how can I not? I haven't done it for the past couple of years. I think I did Marled Magic, but there have been some that I have not done. So I feel like, for some reason, this time when he announced it, I was just like, now is the time. I feel just very creatively inspired. I feel like in a creative, good place to pull together stuff from my stash, and that's just really awesome. So I have picked out my colors. I do not have them with me. I actually don't remember where I put them. They're somewhere in the apartment. Which I don't know how I forgot where they were. I think I put them in a bag all ready to go where all the rest of my knitting projects are out in our living room. I just forgot to grab them, so. But I do have my colors all picked out. I got some new mohair to go with this pattern, which is super exciting, which leads me into the next thing I was going to talk about, because I got the mohair from this same person. This past weekend on Saturday, the Modern Skein had a trunk show of the Suburban Stitcher yarn, and it was so much fun. It was so wonderful to have Diane there with all of her beautiful, beautiful yarn and just like glorious colors everywhere. The shop was so busy. It was like a huge party basically the whole time. I'm assuming the whole day. I was only there till 1, and then we went and tailgated the A&M game up in College Station with Sam's family. So that was super cool. But the time that I was at the store, it was so much fun. There were so many people. It was amazing. I got to meet several podcast viewers, which is really wonderful. I'm going to talk about that in just a moment. But before we get into that, I want to show you the yarn that I got. I was speaking very quickly, and now I'm a little out of breath. You just gotta slow down. So I wanted to get some yarn. I also, hi, the cat has shown up. Do you want to be in the podcast? People like it when you're in the podcast. He doesn't want to be in the podcast particularly, but oh well. So I've been thinking about just, I don't know. I'm trying to, like, I've been thinking about this for a long time. I also like supporting indie dyers, especially local indie dyers, and obviously Diane lives in Houston. It's an hour and a half away or 2 hours away, but it's still Houston. So I really wanted to get some of her yarn. I got some of her mohair to go with my Mystery Knit-Along colors, which is very exciting, and then I also got these two of her single sock. Hi! You want to come talk about yarn? He's like, why is there yarn all around your feet? This is odd. Are you gonna lay on it? He's rubbing his face on... Ooh, you like the sheepy smell? I know I do too. I do apologize. He's just being needy, I think. Birdie, what you need? Birdie, I'm talking about yarn. Oh, are you rolling? He's very needy right now. He just flopped out on the floor and started rolling. Anyway, so I just got these two skeins of her single sock. Or simple sock, excuse me, there, her single base. This is called Rose All Day. And look how pretty that is. And then the other skein that I got was called Demure. Whoops. Which is just this lovely, lovely, like baby rosy pink. So soft. The color and the yarn are both so soft. And together, I think these are just stunning. I think they will make a really fun, some kind of like stripy shawl. Similar to, I think I know, I'll be right back. I have an idea. So, I knit this shawl. I have a shawl that I knit while I was over in France doing my study abroad with yarn that I got from, I'm pretty sure I got it from the Sebte, the yarn store there, because I didn't get it from La Bien-Aimée. I think it was the other one that I got this from. So I got this just Madeline Tosh Merino Light. It wasn't anything special. I was just looking for colors that I liked, and so this was super cool. I knit this while I was there in Paris, which is pretty awesome. So needless to say, I have very fond memories with this shawl. This is called the Kelia shawl. I don't remember who designed it, but it was super fun to knit, and it just used two skeins of fingering singles. Or just fingering weight. I could do this. I feel like this would be very pretty. But I also have just like this random skein of Antler from Madeline Tosh. That's also Merino Light. It's a single, and I really like these colors together. So this could be a really fun option. I have a lot of shawls in mind that I want to make, but I just want to make sure I find the perfect one, and I feel like this will be a treat for me. I don't know. But anyway, these are the two colors that I picked out. I had my eye on, and she sold out of a lot of colors very quickly, and so I would, if I had a free moment, I would go and snag this skein, and then I would wait a little bit because I didn't want to like not let other people get her yarn. But once I saw that things were selling out quickly, I made sure that I got the ones that I wanted. So that's really cool. I'm super excited about this. I have never knit with her yarn before, and yes, so I just think this will be very special. And I'm very excited about that. I've said that 1,000 times, and I do apologize, but I am very excited. So when I figure out what I'm going to do with this, and potentially the white, I will let you know. I'm sure I will show it to you, and I'll start it, and it'll take forever because I'll get distracted by other things, but at least I will love it, and I'm just very, very excited. So I said that I got to meet some podcast viewers, which was so wonderful. It was a delight to meet you. One in particular, she gave me some of her books that she's written. She is a YA fantasy sci-fi author, amongst other amazing things. as you can see on her Instagram feed. So she brought me some, 2 of her books, which I am looking forward to reading. I have not read them yet, but one is, so this is the first book of this, I think she said it was a trilogy or some kind of series. Diane, if that is incorrect, I do apologize. But, so she gave me the first one, and then also a collection of poems, flash fiction, and short stories. But yes, so this is the Red String, and this is the Shorter Things collection, which is very wonderful. I am looking forward to reading both of those. She also gave me this little package, a little mini with some stitch markers to go along with the Red String trilogy book series. It is a mini from Kimmery's Knits, which I knit my cardamom coffee hat out of her yarn. So that's super cool. This is the colorway that came from the book, and then here are some stitch markers that came along with the mini. So thank you so much again, Diane, for giving me this. It's super wonderful. I will enjoy reading these, I'm sure. And yes, here is her card that she also gave me with all of her information. So, fun times. So yes, I'm really looking forward to this. If you are new to the podcast, you probably are not aware that I do love a good sci-fi fantasy book. I do also love YA fiction. It is so wonderful. I do enjoy it. It is really pouring outside right now, and I love that, which is perfect reading weather. And so this is just like right up my alley. She also said that there is knitting involved, hence the name The Red String. Some of these poems, I think she said, or short stories include knitting as well, which that's obviously very, like, relevant. So yes, I'm very excited about these. Thank you, Diane, so much. I will let you guys know what I think of these in the coming podcast. So, it was wonderful to meet you, Diane. Thank you for saying hello. I'm also glad that you got to meet Sam because he happened to be there as well. That was super fun. And I hope to see you again soon. So I think that is everything for this week. We have discussed knitting, we've discussed future knitting, we have discussed books that I'm going to be reading soon. I haven't been reading. The past couple of books that I've been reading / listening to have been kind of a letdown after the Word is Murder. That was just like mind-blowingly good. Which I don't remember if I actually talked about that on the podcast, but it is so good. Yeah, so I'm not like super pumped about the things that I'm reading / listening to. Hopefully that'll change. I am looking forward to trying something new with the Red String, so that's very fun. Baking wise, I made some white chocolate craisin almond cookies the other day, and I'm now seeing a spider on the wall, and that's kind of unsettling. It's very slow moving. That's odd. I'll have to take care of that in just a moment. Oops. So I made those cookies. They were very good, and I'm going to be very distracted by the spider. I also, yesterday, I made combining the two words, apple toffee blondies, which are very good. They are incredibly rich. They are so rich, but they're so good. They have a fancy icing on them as well, so they are very wonderful. I will link that recipe in the show notes. So if you are interested in making something fallish and toffee-y with apples and cinnamon, I would highly recommend it because they are truly delicious. And the spider's still moving. And so I guess that is everything. So like I said at the beginning, you can follow me on any of my social medias. There's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Ravelry. I'm most active on Instagram if you want to go follow me over on there. In addition to that, all the links to the things that I have talked about will be in the show notes. So if you have any kind of interest in any of that, or you want to go check out patterns or books or recipes or whatever, project bags, yarn, all the good things. The spider is very distracting. If you want to check out any of that, you can find it in the show notes. If you are on my blog, everything will be down below, or if you are on YouTube, the link to my blog will be down below. I hope you had a wonderful weekend, and I hope you continue to have a wonderful week. If you have crafty plans, I hope that they are successful. I have big crafty plans in the future. Just making all the things and finishing all the things and taking pictures of all the things and weaving in ends of all the things and just being productive. So I have a lot of knitting and finishing up in my future, which is very exciting. I am hoping to get a lot of knitting done at work this week because I will be at work. I'll be at the store every single day from 10 to 5, and on Thursday I will be there from 10 to 8. So if you are in the area and want to come say hello, come knit with me. That would be wonderful. I would be very welcome of some company. And you can look at yarn, because that's also a very fun thing to do, because that's what you do at a yarn store. That makes sense. So I guess that's it for this week. I'll see you guys next week. Bye!